Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on the first day of your weekend. As usual, I'm Daniel Cook, your host for the English News Edition, which we have Monday through Saturday right here at 6 p.m. In today's news, with the blessing of Serbia, Kosovo has become a member with full rights in the Southeastern European Parliamentary Cooperation, or SEECP. The decision was made in Tirana during the latest assembly of the organization, and both Serbia and Bosnia voted in favor of Kosovo's acceptance. At the end of the SEECP meeting, the Assembly Speaker Ilir Meta and his Kosovar counterpart, Kadri Veseli, announced the news that Kosovo is now a member with equal rights in the SEECP, and it will participate in the regional institutions. The Albanian Assembly Speaker Ilir Meta had this to say about the decision. Kosovo's permanent engagement in this parliamentary assembly will increase its contribution to all key processes, to reinforce regional stability and accelerate their European integration. Special thanks goes out to all member countries, all representatives, and of course, special thanks goes to Serbia for their constructive behavior, said Mr. Meta. The decision was also welcomed by the Kosovo Assembly Speaker, Kadri Veseli, who made the following statement. This is a historic decision because for the first time, the Assembly of Kosovo is joining the international organizations which are of the utmost importance for the integration process, and furthering the recognition of the state of Kosovo. We thank all those countries that accepted us in this assembly, said Mr. Veseli. Also during the SEECP conference in Tirana, various representatives requested more regional cooperation in order to advance the Euro-Atlantic integration process in the region. A statue of the Albanian hero Ismail Qemali has been set up in the center of the city of Pristina. The statue was unveiled in a special ceremony to which Prime Minister Edi Rama was invited. The idea to place the statue in Pristina was instigated in November of 2014, and the statue was funded by various intellectuals and businessmen from Vlora. The mayor of Pristina thanked all those who contributed to this common project between Pristina and Vlora, including those who came up with the idea and those who funded it. Albania's Prime Minister Edi Rama said that he was honored to participate in the ceremony. Mr. Rama also clarified his earlier statement about a national union. He said, "The statue of Ismail Qemali sits as heavy as a stone in his country. This is like a re-declaration of independence of Albania. We will keep the promise we made to America and to Europe. We will create national union. Our union is about economic and spiritual unity, and not about the defiance of our neighbors, with whom we want to join the European Union," said the Prime Minister. The Macedonian Assembly Speaker took the opportunity during the SEECP meeting to say that the recent events in Kumanov were an attempt to fight terrorism. He made the following statement during the Assembly. "The most concerning problems of the region are peace and stability. Unfortunately, we faced some tension in Macedonia, but we managed to prevent any escalation. The actions of the police managed to stop the terrorist group that wanted to damage the Republic of Macedonia and were posing a threat to the whole region. Of course, politics are contributing to the deterioration of the general well-being of the country. As you already know, the opposition of Macedonia has not been attending the Assembly since the end of the parliamentary elections last year. With the help of our European friends, we appeal to the opposition to return to their assembly work. The negotiations between the parties continue with the mediation of the European Parliament, and we hope that a solution will soon be found," he said. The Macedonian Assembly Speaker added that the EU membership would protect the Balkan countries from terrorist groups. He said that unpleasant event demonstrates the need for a faster integration into NATO and the EU. Overcoming the challenges can be done only through regional cooperation and with the support of the international community, he said. The Serbian delegation supported this line of thought, condemning any attempt to disrupt the regional stability. The Serbian representative had this to say, "We strongly condemn the attempts to undermine the stability of Macedonia and the region, and we express our support for the protection of life. We are against extremism and violence. It is important that the cooperation of the governments identify the projects of common interest and allow them to be implemented by linking these projects with the plans of the European Council." Today, the Attorney General, Adriatic Lala, met with the ODIHR Ambassador, Audrey Glover. Mr. Lala gave his assurance that the institution he leads has taken the necessary measures to monitor the electoral campaign, especially during Election Day, and to identify cases of electoral crime. According to Mr. Lala, the Albanian prosecution has established a tradition of monitoring the electoral process. As an example, he spoke about the actions that were taken in the general elections of 2013, during which the General Prosecutor's Office issued orders to all local prosecutors to be ready on Election Day. This practice will continue in the 2015 local elections as well, he added. A special office administered by the Department of Investigation will coordinate and consult with the local prosecutors about any suspected electoral crimes. The Attorney General stated that the cooperation mechanisms have been strengthened, especially within the state police and the Central Election Commission. A few days ago, the CEC signed a new cooperation agreement under which the prosecution will undertake the training of the local election commissioners and the vote counters in cases of criminal offense. Mr. Lala also expressed to the ambassador that the Prosecutor General's office and the local prosecutors' offices will be willing to keep in contact with the international observers about any cases of irregularity that might be found during the campaign or on the election day. After the publication of the news that the Interior Minister had been threatened, Minister Tahiri and his family have been taken under the protection of the Renea forces. The Director of Public Relations at the Interior Ministry hinted that special Renea agents are also protecting the minister's apartment and his extended family. Meanwhile, the General Prosecution is expected to make a decision about the protection of Saimir Tahiri and his family for an undetermined amount of time. It is thought that the decision may be extended even to such a time as the minister leaves his duty. These measures come a few days after the minister received a threatening text message on his mobile phone. The minister was told to leave the Juta family alone or else he would have problems. The minister's mobile phone has been taken as evidence, and the main suspect is a man named Vladimir Juta. Juta is suspected of setting the explosives at the Tahiri family pharmacy. Vladimir Juta is currently on the run, and a few days ago, his cousin was set free because of lack of evidence. Over 46,000 high school graduates attended their first obligatory exam today, the English language exam. The test lasted for about 2 hours and contained 25 questions. At the end of the exam, many of the students said that it was not difficult and that they expect very high marks. Students who wish to move on to the universities are obligated to take these exams, but they only need to score 20% to pass. The obligatory exams for the other subjects will be coming soon, including the Albanian language and literature exam on May 29th and the mathematics exam on June 9th. That concludes our news for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, and see you again on Monday for more translated news in English. Thanks, and have a great night.
Ora News.